Please call the roll.
Hoffman.
Here.
Lark.
Here.
Krickenberg. Swallow. Here. Bowman.
Here.
Parsons.
Here.
Ferris.
Here.
Adair.
Here. All right. Item 4 is discussion and action to approve resolution number 2025-012, a resolution of the City of Alva entering an amended and restated memorandum of understanding and granting a use easement between the City, Alva Friends of Play Foundation, and Community Service Unit number 629 of the Girl Scouts of Western Oklahoma regarding the use and ownership of what is known as the Girl Scout Hut in Hatfield Park, and granting the authority to the city business manager and/or mayor to sign all necessary documents. I'm going to hand this to Drew or Steve.
Yeah, so the Girl Scout hut, as far as we can tell, all the records we've seen, is owned by Girl Scouts of Western Oklahoma, which is, and Amber's here, and she might be able to explain better than I can, but basically what we found was an old, and I think Amber found it, was an old 1947 City of Alva minute, council meeting minute, and pretty clear, Girl Scouts owned it, it's been on Alva property. This is just keeping it in line with how it's been used. The only difference now is the Alva Friends of Play Foundation, which is a local 501c3, is actually, I think the Girl Scouts are going to transfer the actual Girl Scout hut to them. And this, other than that, it's keeping everything exactly the same, how it's been for over 50-some years. And, if you have anything you want to add.
I mean, that's it. Girl Scouts purchased the hut, requested at that 47 meeting to put it on city property. And we've been locally running into some issues with things we would like to do with the hut, and having to go through Girl Scout Council board and getting all the approval and all of that stuff has just become really cumbersome. And they are trying to downsize their properties, so they wanted to not own it anymore. And we said, well, local Girl Scouts would like to own it. We want to keep it a Girl Scout hut, so that's where we're at.
And so,
You have kind of partnered with this Alva Friends of Play Foundation.
Yes.
Instead of having to set up your own 501c3 in the process,
Yes.
that would have been
Too long for what we needed it to be. Yes, we need to do some major renovations on the Girl Scout hut, and we've raised the money, and we were to the point of let's do the renovations when the whole question of who owned it and who wants to own it and all that came up. So that's why we are here.
Like I said, and it's pretty clear. City does not own the actual building. Obviously, the real property that it sits on, but does not own the building. There was actually a memorandum of trust, or I'm sorry, memorandum of understanding entered back in, I think it was 2013, between the city and the Girl Scouts. So, like I said, just making it clear, so it's on the record. City's not claiming they own it. That way, they can move forward with their, updates and anything they want to do without any threat of city coming in and saying, "Oh, hey, we think we own that." Like I said, I haven't seen any records that would indicate the city owns it.
and purpose would be to continue on as a Girl Scout hut.
Absolutely.
And that's stated pretty clearly in the memorandum of understanding and the easements being granted to them. And the easements are to use the parking lot that's right there in front of it, and then I think there's a separate little place to be used as well.
We had another agreement that allows us to use that run that's just south and west of the hut up to the fire pit for when we do encampments and stuff. And we've had that agreement for 15 plus, well, longer than that. I don't remember the year that document was created, but yes.
And obviously the building would be Girl Scout restricted, but obviously that clearing belongs to the city. It would just be if they were having a camp out or something like that, it would be basically their use for that night type of thing.
Yep. And we always notify fire department and stuff because we're going to have a fire pit or whatever. So.
All right. Any discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I will motion to approve item 4 as stated in the agenda.
Second. I have a motion to approve resolution number 2025-012 as stated in item 4 of the agenda. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Parsons,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Swallow. Yes. Bowman,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Adair.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, and
Thank you.
glad we were able to do that.
Me too.
And good luck with the renovations.
Thank you.
Item 5 is discussion and action to approve City of Alva Resolution Number 2025-013, resolution approving action taken by the Alva Arena Authority, authorizing issuance, sale, and delivery of tax apportionment bonds of the authority, approving and authorizing a security agreement pertaining to certain tax increment revenues, waiving competitive bidding on the bonds, and authorizing the sale thereof at a discount and containing other provisions related thereto. This doesn't have a line that authorizes the mayor or manager to sign anything. Is that going to be an issue?
That's actually a resolution.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's part of the attachment of the resolution.
Okay. All right.
No signature, no resolution.
Okay. All right. Well, I forgot your name though.
Voting bachelor.
Okay. I should remember Bachelor. Yeah. All right. Bodie Bachelor is the bond counsel for the Arena Authority on this.
Yes, sir.
So I'll let you bring the council up to speed. What's going on?
Okay.
Why we're here this evening.
Thank you, sir. First of all, really appreciate everybody coming out and being able to attend the council meeting this evening. This is critical for the Arena Authority, and the timing was very critical for them as well. So, just big picture, this resolution that we're requesting you guys approve tonight is essentially identical to a resolution you approved on June 16th. It was a Monday evening in June, I believe it was on the 16th. So why are we back again? Why are we, repeating the same action? It's because we were very close to closing on the bond issue at that time in June. The placement agent who was hired for the transaction to place the bonds had a purchaser in mind that was Axos Bank at the time, and they gave all the assurances that they were ready for the deal and ready to close, and then unfortunately right at the finish line after the city council meeting they withdrew from the transaction very unexpectedly. So the placement agent then had to go back and sell and market and dig for another buyer, which they have found, and that is an entity called the Rural Water Finance Agency. And although the name has water, they finance all sorts of public buildings. I believe they've done jails, schools, any number of municipal buildings. They originally started with water, and that's kind of what got into the name. In any event, this Rural Water Finance Agency is set to purchase the bonds next week on September 9th, and that is a huge monumental day for the Arena Authority and for the project. Since June, the Arena Authority has added a couple of, in the grand scheme of things, relatively minor items, but to me, probably to you, some pretty big ticket items, so that amount of the bond issue has gone up about 10% from where it was in June. Okay, and that 10% is made up of three things primarily. That is some livestock handling equipment for the arena. Pryford, I believe, is contracted to provide that. Also, they decided to roll into, it was always part of the plan, but they decided to roll into this financing some solar equipment, so that I don't know the details, I'm not the engineer, but I think some or possibly all of the arena could be run off solar power. So that cost has been rolled into the bond proceeds. And then there are some costs of issuance specific to the rural water finance piece of purchasing bonds. So happy to answer any questions about any part of that I can. But again, this is essentially an identical approval as we did back in June before the council. But for the amount that the arena has authorized, let me back up. The Arena Authority took action last Thursday, I believe it was. They met and they approved everything in final form for this bond closing to happen, or not the closing, the pricing to happen on the 9th next week. So the Arena Authority has approved that very recently. and we just wanted to come back to the city council and not rely on a June approval for the closing we're about to enter when we did have an increase in the principal amount. So that's why we're here, and we can't, just to put a real fine point on it, we can't move forward without the city's approval tonight with the bond sale next week. That's required by statute, and the number of votes is also required by statute, and that's why I'm so grateful for each of you coming out tonight, taking time for a special council meeting, because without you, we really hinge on your approval tonight.
So, and I'll just, for those that may not recall or those that are new, city is a beneficiary.
Correct.
And so we don't have any obligation to the costs or paying the bonds
That's right.
or any of that. We just, since once it's finished, it will be, if the Arena Authority were to go belly up, they would come back and it would be owned by the city and the county jointly. And so that is primary reason why we're having to take action.
Exactly right. Yes, sir. I should have.
With any debt also that they.
We won't have any debt obligation.
Correct.
So, in that, it's just the TIF district is the only security for the bonds, is that correct?
Well, no, sir. There's another key security point. That's the only tie the city has to the bonds at all. Is you've already approved the TIF district, and only those incremental extra revenues that come out of that TIF district go to help pay the bonds. The primary credit support, frankly, for this is coming privately from the Charles Morton Shared Trust. They are back in the deal. Yeah. But that's exactly right. There's no city debt. There's no city obligation to this whatsoever. Your only obligation with regard to the arena is to enjoy it after it's built.
Any questions? I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the City of Alva Resolution number 2025-013 as stated on item 5 of the agenda.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Adair, second by Mr. Bowman to approve resolution 2025-013 as stated, number 5 of the agenda. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Adair,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
Swallow. Yes. Laura,
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Bachelor, and
Thank you.
we look forward to having that thing open.
Yes, sir. It's a monumental occasion for the Arena Authority.
Absolutely. All right, we don't have any further business, and so therefore we are adjourned.